Hey guys, Goten here, back with another video on the A channel, and welcome to Hot Takes number 2. Today's, quote-unquote hot takes, if you haven't read the title, is about how school is affecting, students mentally. So this is going to be a fun little rant, but I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes, hopefully below 5. But getting into it, what kind of inspired me to make this instead of a gaming video, which, by the way, the next video, Monday, we'll be back to gaming highlights, I promise. It's just I really wanted to make this video, and I won't be honest, I didn't have a whole lot of time to edit this week. I'm editing this Thursday, the day before it goes up, so, you know. But anyways, I obviously coming back from break, I had a little bit of a messed up sleep schedule, but I still got to bed around about 1, which granted that's partially my fault, but the next day, at school I felt absolutely awful because I was tired. Not too tired to the point where I couldn't concentrate or anything, but like going from actually getting decent sleep to back to about 6 hours after about 2 weeks of getting actual good sleep made me realize that your mood and I guess thought process and stuff really changes based on the amount of sleep you get. Basically what I'm getting at is I was in a much happier mood throughout break. Granted, it probably also helped that I wasn't cooped up in a building for 7 hours a day, because, you know, that system is a rant for itself that I did 3 years ago on my own channel. That was a 30-minute video about how the school system is completely flawed. But, you know, if you want to see that redone on this channel, I can, but that's not what this video is. But anyway, back to the point. That I personally think, and this is actually a thing in some other countries, school starts way too early here in the US. It's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. Kids would be much happier and maybe more willing to learn if we started an hour or two later. If we went from 8 to 9 or 10. That gives kids an extra hour or two of sleep. It allows them to, you know, feel a bit more fresh going into school. And it could easily be done. Here's a good example from me. This year, I have 2 classes I didn't need to take, but I had to have something for those spots on my schedule. If we had, say, 6 classes and a lunch instead of 8 classes, all 45 minutes, and a 30-minute lunch, which they cut back on our lunch by 15 minutes, my school's not very good at keeping a fluent schedule that, you know, is great. Students would be much happier, less classes to have to stress out about, and maybe a bit longer, back to a 45-minute lunch period, you know, like your average class period, like it used to be at my school, and probably most schools still is. And it may also allow for a bit more time between classes, because 5 minutes is not enough for a lot of people. Some people have to go across the school, and if you go to my school, I'm not going to say what school, obviously, that's private information, but if any of my boys in AA know, if you have a class on one side of our school than the other, you might barely make it each day with the 5 minutes you have now. Especially if you get behind slow people, which happens a lot on the top floor of our school because that's where all the freshmen are. So if you have a class up there, because there's still a lot of upperclassmen classes up there because they didn't know where else to stick up. Mostly science classes, because science has its own wing and there's only 2 of them in our school. You get stuck behind a bunch of slow people. So that could be a problem if you're going from one side of the school to the science wing. Just saying. But pretty much what I'm getting at is there needs to be more time pretty much for kids, and school needs to start later. That's kind of the hot take I'm trying to get here, because it would help kids be happier. Maybe not necessarily be at school, but they would at least feel more refreshed and, you know, actually maybe try to learn instead of sleep through some of their classes and nap and all that. It's going to be an example next year. This is a good example for me. I'll have all my credits done to graduate except core classes, obviously. And I'm still going to have to probably take 4 other classes that are literally just going to be a pain and a hassle because I don't need them to graduate. 5 classes, actually, because you only need, in English, math, and history, where I live, 4 credits of those, not science. So I have to take 5 classes that I don't necessarily need, unless I can somehow make a deal with the school and get early release, which is a pain in my school. You have to have like a job, you have to have all sorts of other stuff and make like a great deal with them. So, but anyways, that's kind of just my thoughts. Just to recap here at the end, school should start an hour or two later, preferably I'd say 10 10 to 3 should be fine. 6 classes, a lunch period. Even if the lunch period can't be 45 minutes, and maybe increase from 5 to maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 minutes between classes, if possible. If not, so be it. But I honestly think shorter school days would be beneficial to everybody, even teachers. But anyways, that's my hot take for this Friday. If you want to see more hot takes, hit that like button and subscribe. Like I said, Monday will be a gaming highlights video, and maybe Friday. I don't know. Me and Harpo and I and the other A boys are discussing some stuff we might want to do. Additionally to gaming highlights and hot takes. So, yeah. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. That's the end of this video, and peace out, guys.